Thiago Santos, Glover Teixeira. Why are we here and what are we doing? Well, a lot actually. And this is not a number one contenders bout. I would not try to sell you on the match in that regard, right? Particularly when you understand that Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz just got announced. And particularly after that, if you accept the idea that that fight got announced so that John Jones can come back and have something interesting to do. It delays anybody from getting a meaningful title opportunity or being in that conversation for a period of time. Now, hold on. These are two former number one contenders. You know, the history of MMA and boxing as well is if you have two athletes who have both fought the same guy for the championship and both lost, they fight each other. And I've got more questions than I do answers in this fight, right? Neither one of these guys has the benefit of youth. They can't afford a loss to go stumbling down the rankings and then start over and come climbing up that mountain again. So, I mean, anytime there's a fight and there's some pressure on it, I think we like that as a fan. But when I talk about I have some questions, let's start at the beginning. The last time I saw Thiago Santos, which was 500 days ago this Saturday, okay? He was on a stretcher in a parking lot getting lifted into an ambulance. It was after the John Jones fight. And he had the knee, maybe even both knees. There was rumors of both knees, but like everything you could do bad to a knee had happened. MCL, ACL, and I think it was in both legs. It was something very bad. So you do have to understand when a guy's been out for 500 days, the number one thing that he will lose within his own mind that directly affects his confidence is his conditioning. It's a little different if a guy doesn't fight, but he's in training, right? The guy was suspended. Or the guy's a free agent and he doesn't have an organization, but he's in the room every day. We know that didn't happen with Santos because we know about the knee injury, we know about the rehab. So it's just a question of how good of shape is he in. And I would like to see a guy be able to dip his toe in the hot water before he jumped in, right? A guy that's been out 500 days to be able to come back and have a fight, co-main event or less, because now it's a 3-round contest. That's what I would like. That's not the way this works. Thiago Santos is a killer. He's the last guy to beat Jan Blachowicz, and that fight with John Jones was a split decision. One licensed judge that night thought he beat Jones. I mean, this is a top guy. You can't just put him in somewhere. You've got to put him with other top guys, and that's where you have Glover. Now, Glover, I would put as far as an inspiration, and possibly this is to a guy over 40. But what Glover is able to do at 41 years old, being in main events, pushing the pace, and being a top 5 guy in the world, I think it's meaningful. I think that it's impressive. I think like if you're a new fan and you're looking for somebody to cheer for, somebody to get behind, Glover's a great place to start. I do go back to the question of, though, how solid is Santos today, right now? How solid is Santos? Because if I was to give you a breakdown of this fight, I couldn't just do it on paper by juxtaposing all the big names that Glover's beat versus all the great names that Santos beat. It wouldn't be that simple. It is a question of how good is that knee? Is Santos going to be light on his feet? Is he going to be hesitant to throw leg kicks? You guys will remember when Anderson had that very gruesome injury against Chris Weidman. But that was the big question in the rematch. Will Anderson throw a kick? Will he be hesitant? Will he be scared? I mean, it's one of his best weapons, not only to hurt you, but he uses those kicks to distract and set you up. Will he come out and use it? And I only bring you the Anderson example against White because I know it's one that you'll remember. And it was very visible. And Santos's leg injuries were not visible. He pushed through the fight. Nobody knew it happened until he released it after the fact. So I just think there's a question there. Is he going to be gun shy? Or is he going to go plant his feet and start trading with Teixeira? You start playing that game, and that's the one I happen to think they are going to play. You start playing that game, now it's anybody's ball game. It's not about who the better striker is or even the most powerful. It's just about who can land first.